I am here with Barbara Perry, the Senior Vice President for Athlete Representation and Business Development for Billie Jean King Enterprises. We're here to talk the 50th anniversary of Title IX. It's here in June. And Barbara, thank you so much for joining with us today.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
Yeah, excellent. So obviously, working with Billie Jean King Enterprises, I'm sure you guys have Title IX top of mind, this year, every year. But, just wanted to start off, what does Title IX mean to you?
Well, Title IX is something that's really, impacted my life, certainly in just very positive ways and in ways I couldn't see early on, but I definitely see now. But, I was able to play college tennis and get a scholarship, and that was all a result of Title IX. And I have to say that really set me on a different path in my career than I thought I was going to have, because when I was playing tennis, I met people. I was introduced to, a lot of different things in the sport. And then I realized when I graduated that, I wanted to try to play as much as I could, play tournaments and things like that. But then I also was exposed to the other side of the sport, the business of the sport. And so that led to my, one thing after another, getting involved in that. And so it's really, like I said, led me to a career that I didn't expect to have when I started college. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, excellent. And obviously we want to focus on, points in your life where you feel like Title IX's made a big impact. You just touched on, the fact that it gets you a scholarship. You're now a college athlete, focusing on, how you can kind of further yourself in maybe an area you didn't think was possible at the time. So is that, the main point in your life where you think Title IX's kind of manifested for you, or is there another opportunity that kind of jumps out at you?
Well, I mean, I think, that was probably, the real launch for me, because like I said, when I was in college, I thought that after I graduated that I would go to law school and, be in some type of legal profession. But like I said, when I saw that there were these different parts of the sports world that were out there that you could really, that I could become a part of, I just was encouraged by meeting some of the people that I in college and right when I graduated that were in academia, who encouraged me to try these, different businesses. And so that's what I did. And originally I thought, well, I'll just take a year off, before law school and try this out. But you meet people, and then one thing led to another, and all these business opportunities one by one came about. And I was lucky enough to be able to, seize these different opportunities and make a career out of it. And, like I said, I think of this more now about what Title IX did for me than I did at the time, because, then you're just kind of, seizing the moment, doing whatever you can do at the time and figuring it out. But maybe if it had been a few years earlier, I wouldn't have had these opportunities. And then it just would have been a whole different business life for me.
Yeah, it kind of broke your timeline a little bit, set you off on a different path. So obviously you've excelled since, and you kind of look back and say, wow, this was a great moment for me and a great opportunity that's kind of launched you into your career today. And on the same plane there, looking at obviously the last 50 years have been a great step forward for Title IX. And if you could look at maybe not the next 50, but the next 5, the next 10, what are some of the next steps that the industry, whether it's sports, for collegiate athletes or just athletes in general, or even executives in sport, what are some of the next steps that you'd like to see make the industry a bit more inclusive, create that kind of gender equity and the equality for all that Title IX really represents?
Well, I do think that with any type of laws or legislation like this, that you really have to work at it. You can't. It doesn't just because it passed, it doesn't mean that's it. I think it's an ongoing process of keeping it current and where people really buy into it. And so I think really what's happened in the last few years. And I think this anniversary is really a great thing because it's really, I think it's exposed the younger generations to the history of this legislation and how important it is. And I thought it was really cool during the March Madness, watching like the men's basketball, that you'd see the male players wearing the shirts with the Title IX words on them. And I thought, that's really cool because you want everyone to be supporting this. You don't want it to just be women always advocating. You want men and women to be supporting this and believing in it and in all the good that it does and the positive roles that it creates. So I think anytime that we can create that type of awareness of what's going on to keep that going, I think that's very important. And I know that sometimes I work with college students when we have intern programs, and it's something I really enjoy and believe in. And I think what I've seen in that area is over the years, I've seen more and more women, participating. And I think it's great because we're introducing them to the business side of sports and all the different things that you can do. There are just so many, it's so varied in what you can do. And I think a lot of them don't know that coming in, but it's been great. And the collaboration between the men and the women has been terrific. And I think those are the types of things that are really important.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head with, especially staying in the same vein of the basketball. We look back a couple of years ago with the WNBA and the Orange Hoodie campaign. A lot of the athletes on the men's side that were in the bubble, the NBA athletes were, showing up in orange hoodies and using their platforms to promote the W. And just like you said, on the collegiate side of things, you have the, some of the male athletes wearing the Title IX gear, showing their support for the women. So it's good to see, I'm sure it transcends more than just basketball, but those are top mind pieces that we can touch on. And going off that vein, is there an executive or an athlete that you think really embodies the Title IX mission and has been, working diligently to A, promote the cause and B, just spread awareness that you've just been touching on?
Well, Jack, I think you just served me up a lob to borrow a tennis term.
Yes.
Because, one name is a name that, immediately comes to mind because I work for her, is Billie Jean King. So, which is pretty cool, for me to be working for someone like that. Again, looking back at where I came from, and to have this opportunity to work for someone like that and to get to know her so well, it's just it doesn't get any better than that. But I think Billie Jean, what can you say? She's been such an advocate. And it really started at that time in the, I guess she started in the 60s, but really the early 70s is when I feel she really came into her own in terms of being an advocate for equality and all these different things that happened within a pretty short time span. We were celebrating a lot of 50th anniversaries, last year, this year, next year with Title IX, with the Battle of the Sexes, with Billie Jean being the first woman to win $100,000 in prize money and founding the Women's Tennis Association, things like that. She's been, just really I think the name that you associate with, with Title IX and with everything that women have accomplished. And what's really great right now is to see, even though it's taken 50 years, to see all that has come out of this and what we're seeing now. And such an explosion really in the interest in women's sports. And, women's tennis has always been sort of the gold standard, I think, in terms of just a great, successful tour with opportunities for women's tennis players. But I think now we're seeing some others, catching up to that, other leagues, other sports. And I think we're seeing, the corporate world, coming on board and supporting these leagues and sports the way they need to be. And I think you can trace all that back to the early 70s and to what, Billie Jean has done and continues to do. I mean, she's in it every day. I mean, she is not slowing down. she's I think as motivated as ever, and it's very inspirational, to see that, to be around it. So I'm very lucky that way.
Yeah, no, I think she's synonymous with Title IX, and obviously she's been a great advocate for not just women's sports, but equality in general. And having her at the top of the organization, we often say it's Sports Innovation Lab. Like, culture comes from the top. Angela, our CEO, has instilled that, and she often gives a lot of credit to Billie Jean when their friendship and partnership throughout the business world. So certainly a lot of the values that I'm sure Billie Jean is delivering in your organization is kind of woven into ours as well. So thank you for allowing us to kind of pull off some of those, but I think that was an ace, if I can continue to steal some tennis terms on that end. And as we kind of wrap up here, I just wanted to take a look at what you see in today's world. Like, we've talked about how Title IX kind of launched you into a new form of your career. How are you continuing to, obviously working with Billie Jean King Enterprises? How is that shaping kind of your everyday life nowadays?
Well, what's really fun is to try to help these other athletes and sports, move along and move up and gain traction and success. And so we really do that every day. I mean, we work with some individual athletes and helping them. And so that's been terrific. And then there are a lot of, there are some leagues that are trying to launch in different sports. And, you really can't get much better advice than from Billie Jean on something like that, because she's done it. She knows what it's like to, to come up with an idea and to break away, as she did with the original 9 tennis players, to form, what's now the Women's Tennis Association. I mean, it took a lot of guts. It took a lot of hard work. The other thing about her and about what she does and what our company does is, which I don't think gets enough credit, is it's not just her vision and her hard work and her inspiration and just really going at it to build awareness to accomplish these things. But a lot of times, she puts her money on the line. She invests. She promotes events. I mean, she just wrote a book that came out last year, All In, and it tells her story really in detail. And I learned a lot from reading All in that when she was starting out to create tournaments, she was, she was putting up the money. She was, working, other jobs and things like that to raise this money to start these events, which, it's interesting. You can trace the origin of some of these tournaments that she ran, and owned back in the 70s and 80s to some what are now like these huge events that are played, in different locations around the world. So it all started there, at that time. And like I said, she's invested in this, and she continues to do that, which I think is, again, I don't think she gets enough credit for that, because she's really doing everything. She's advocating for it, with words and all of that, but then she's also doing some of the hard work that it takes to really build these different opportunities for women athletes.
Yeah, I mean, we've been lucky to have her as an advisor to the company. She's been an investor in the company as well. So we definitely know, like I said earlier, how important it is to have her and, see that she's still continuing to take action. She's been a true legend in the game and in business, and for just the great well-being of society. She's one of the better people that we have. So we thank her for that. And I'll let you have the final word here. Is there any parting message you want to leave to, whether it's a female athlete, an aspiring executive, or just the industry as a whole, on the influence and the importance of Title IX?
Well, I think what's been great lately is to give a plug to Sports Information Lab. It's been great connecting with these other. Well, it's not just women, really. It's just the whole group of people that you have put together and Angela has put together. And I think it's such a nice mixture of up and coming people, more established people in the business and things like that. And I think we all really are learning from each other. And it's been a great forum for, getting this information. I love some of the information that we get on these monthly calls and, this data and all this stuff that it's just fascinating, what's going on. And that really hasn't existed before. So I think it's great to have that and to be able to share it and collaborate. And, again, I think this is all just part of the long, road that started, back in 1973 or 72, I guess, with Title IX, and all of these opportunities that we have now. And I think it just gets better and better.
Yeah, excellent. Well, we're happy to have you as a part of that executive network. So we look forward to continuing our work together. And Barbara Perry, the Senior Vice President of Athlete Representation and Business Development for Billie Jean King Enterprises. Thank you so much for joining us today. 50 years of Title IX. A lot of work has been done. There's plenty more work to be done over the next 50. So we're excited to be alongside you for it.
Thanks so much, Jack. This was great.
Appreciate it.